Heyo everybody, Haku here with my review for Little Witch Academia episode 23. Now, this one, I feel like I've given it really good reviews for the past few episodes in a row, and this one, I don't know, I guess I was expecting it to be really good since we're getting towards the end of the series, but I don't know if I was expecting it to be, probably my favorite episode so far. This is probably my favorite episode of the series so far. Like, it was just so good. I think it may have been the most emotional episode of anime this season, and that's saying a lot because we have a lot of good shows this season. Just recently, the last episode of Shingeki no Bahamut really killed my heart, and then Boku no Hero Academia has been amazing. So yeah, this somehow surpassed all that emotion-wise, and it might be, it's hard to say because there are so many good episodes this season, but it might be my favorite episode of anime this season. I don't know. It was just really good. Let me talk about this part by part and what went on. So, we have Susie and Lotte tell Diana that Akko was gone. Then we get the flashbacks for Ursula or Chariot, which were so good. Her dream was to make everyone smile using magic. But she was very bad at magic, and she kept trying and trying. And the flashbacks were just so good. The OST was incredible, and she couldn't find the seventh word. So she traveled around using her magic to make people smile all around the world, but people got bored of her after a while. So Croy proposed the dream fuel spirit to her. She used it using people's admiration for her and those positive emotions they saw during her they felt when seeing her magic, in order to produce magical energy. So she raised magical power like that, but she didn't know about the sacrifice that it entailed, and when told about it, she's like, no, I can't do this anymore. But Croy's point of view, which I thought was actually kind of interesting, was normal people won't ever use magic anyway. You're taking a skill away from them that they'll never use. And of course, we see that because of what happened to Akko, that it turned out bad. And also she pointed out, eventually the people from the magical side of the world really will figure out what's going on and stuff and will shun you anyway, so it's already too late for you. So Croy kinda tricked her all along. Croy thought that she misused the Colombe Soleil, just using it for tricks, calling it the shiny rod, and not chasing after the words with enough zeal. So then Chariot stopped using the Dream Fuel Spirit, and was pretty much, the audience got bored of her, and her magic show started to fail, all culminating in her shooting the moon with the first word's arrow form and leaving it scarred. Then, I guess that was the event, however many years ago that they talked about before. So Diana tells Ursula that Akko isn't back yet, and she brings up, there aren't any records of Ursula Callistus. I know that you're Chariot. Ursula then tells her the truth, and I love that scene. Diana telling her off and saying, I'm more disappointed in you leaving Akko behind and not caring about her now than I've ever been in you. And that was such a powerful scene. Diana was so good this episode. So Diana goes and tells all their friends the truth about Chariot's shows and stuff, but not that she's Ursula. In the search for her, that scene, again, so good. The OST incredible. I loved the stuff there with Susie and Lotte on the bridge. All of it was so good. So Diana finds Akko. We find out Diana hid her love of Chariot. We get her backstory that was so good. And how she went overseas to see, she had to hide her love of Chariot and had to sneak overseas, kind of. Her mom sent her away to another country to see a show of Chariots because she really wanted to see her live, but they didn't want anybody from the magical world finding out. So it was so good. So she saw the same show as Akko as a child. Then probably there was so much that was great about this, how every single thing had a meaning, and I'm going to get into general thoughts in a bit, but so many great things. But probably the one best thing that I can point out with this episode is when Diana's talking, we have the musical break. The music throughout this, I love watching an episode of Little Witch Academia. It's like there's an orchestra playing in the background the entire time. It's so good. it is just, the OST is more well used and just better than any OST I think I've heard in any show. But the best part was when she's talking and then the music just slows down until it stops and it's completely silent when Diana says, I believe in your heart. And that was like so incredible. The music stops, she said that, and then the music comes back up as Lotte comes in. Like, it was incredible direction. Just absolutely incredible. So then, at the very end, Ursula goes back to the lab in order to stop Croy. That was so good. Like I said, most emotional episode of anything this season. And that's saying something in a great season. The OST is beyond brilliant. The OST is just too good. It's better than any other show I think I've ever seen. Anime or otherwise, any show, this is the best OST I've seen. The best use of music to increase the feelings in the show. I was kind of like, the whole time, I was like drawn in, edge of my seat, like heart in throat. Is that sort of a saying? Like, where I was just there. I was completely in the episode, feeling like, if this gets sad, I could cry at any moment, but I'm not quite crying. Just on that verge of just edge of your seat the entire time. Like, the direction was so good. The animation was great. The voice acting was amazing. The voice acting has been good all season, but man, the voice acting was so good here. It is just, I struggle to describe how good this episode was and how much this show should be watched. And how every line of dialogue here was just so meaningful. Everything, and what all the different characters did, how everything had so much meaning throughout the episode. It was just so good. And because it's my favorite episode, and I think the best review I've ever given anything, it's pretty rare that I give something a perfect 10, but I think at this point I've seen so many good things that I've given out a decent amount of perfect 10s. There are a very few select things that I've ever given over a 10 where I've said this is beyond what I would consider to be good enough to deserve a perfect score, and given them an 11. And then there is only one thing that I can remember. I don't remember if I think I may have done it once before for something else, but there's only one thing I ever remember giving higher than an 11, and that was the premiere episode of this. And I think this was even better than the premiere episode of Little Witch Academia, so I'm going to have to match that score and give it 12, 12 believing hearts out of 10. 12 out of 10, because again, this is, there's what I would consider to be a perfect episode of something, no flaws or anything. Something I consider to be a step above that because of the emotion or the detail put in, and this is beyond even what I would consider worthy of that. 12 out of 10. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like if you did like the video, comment down there to tell me what you thought of this episode, what you thought of my thoughts on it and all that. Subscribe for more Little Witch Academia, much more on the channel. Follow on Twitter if you want. I'll try to keep you updated there and stuff for the channel. Talk to you there. If you want a link to the Discord, just tell me in the comments. I'll throw one down there for you, and you can join and talk with me and some of the other active members of the channel there, I guess. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.